You know what I'm saying? I probably would have fucked him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
man, so you put me in a compromising situation because of your because people don't know how to communicate. It's all about communication.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, I have been on the other side of that too, where my girl's friend, she wants to fuck me. I've been in that situation too. Now, I didn't say anything to her. I just handled it on my own. Because I knew if I would have said something to her, she would have been like, she kind of would have probably flipped out and be like, nah, you bullshitting. She didn't mean it that way, whatever, you know. So I said, hey, you know what? I don't get down like that. And hey, I appreciate it if you wouldn't do that again. But she made a strong pass at me, boy.
Wow.
So sometimes it's probably best for you to handle it yourself. You know.
Well, yeah. With that, and that. Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that because that is so true. I have like a similar same situation. Now I ain't gonna say, but it was just somebody that I was dating. His family called because we was living together. It's like, yo, so he such the home. I'm like, nah, he ain't there. He was like, yo, you want me to come over? And this is cousin.
Yeah.
And I said, no. And I said, due to the fact that he's not here, and I know that he don't want you here, and I definitely don't want you here. So, no. You know what I'm saying? But people would try to think that they can sneak
yeah.
On that type of time.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, and I had I got a cousin, right? Well, I don't claim this bitch no more.
You what?
She stabbed me in the back 3 times, and none of the shit worked. Wow. But I had a girl, and at the time we were going through something, right? And my cousin, which is a stud, she called her and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, and she's like, "Oh, I'm doing okay, whatever." And she's like, "Well, you know, you heard me and Lil, we ain't together, blah blah blah." And she was like, "Oh, yeah, I heard. You know, hey, you can come over if you want." You're like, "What? It's that?" Now she did that to me 3 times.
With 3 different women or the same woman?
No, the same one 3 times. She called her more than she called me. And see, I never said anything to anybody about it. I never said anything to her about it. And the reason why I didn't say anything because I knew I would have been the bad guy. I would have been like, "You an asshole. You didn't have to do that to her, man. You didn't have to say that to her or whatever." So I never said anything to her about it. I kind of just swept it under the rug and just kept moving.
But no, you know what I find too. A lot of people see we going back to this because communication is everything. People, just because you have a disagreement with somebody, that doesn't mean that it has to get physical or anything like that. Like we can still just, I can express how I feel to you without. But then again, some people don't know how to control themselves in that way because they don't know how to fucking communicate and express their thoughts.
Plus, I knew if I would have said something to her about it, she would have called back home and told my aunts and uncles and try to manipulate the situation and make it feel like, oh, I'm wrong because I said something to her. So I knew it would have became some other shit. You know what I'm saying? She would have took it. She would have told everybody what I said. So I said, I'm not even getting all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
how long have you been married?
13 years.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh, nice.
Yeah, 13 years, man. But
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's what you make it, basically.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know that's a cliche statement, but that's really how it is.
No,
really.
That's a fact because you definitely have to put the work in.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and there's so many moving parts. Shit happens. Your parents get sick. Your parent died. Her parents died. The kids get. Anything could happen. You can't. You can't prepare for everything that happens.
Do you have children?
No, not yet. She couldn't. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't prepare for everything, man. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't think anybody can write a book. No,
Yeah, for real. Life is like it's all about, you know, the experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my son, I was like, look, let me tell you something about. Now, I don't use the friendship word like loosely because I take that word to heart. So I said you have to, you know, Erykah Badu said it perfectly. She said her girl that told her to pick her friends like you pick your fruit. Now when I pick my fruit, I'm looking at it and all that, like examine it, make sure everybody is not your friend. And you have to differentiate your friends for somebody who's like an associate, somebody who you just hanging with and whatnot. And when you go hanging around people and you tell somebody that you don't do something, right? This is just a scenario. You don't do something and they just keep on just trying to persuade you to do it. Like that person is not your friend. That's not somebody you hang around. No. But if you value, but wait, hold on. Because mind you, there's always exceptions to everything. Because a lot like we're talking right now, a lot of people don't have these types of conversations with their children.
Oh, no.
And they don't understand what friendship means, right? So you have to probably be the person to educate that person. Like, look, due to the fact that I value you as a friend, and I'm telling you, no, that's something so going forward, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Prime example for me, right? But somebody who taught me about friendship. Now, this was a girl I was in like middle school. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. She was dating this guy who was a fine looking young man at the time. They broke up, then he called me and asked me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, yeah. We lived across the street from each other. I ran across the street, was like, Bridget, guess what? Guess who I go with? And so she was like, who? And I told her, and she looked me in my face. She was like, you my friend. You don't date somebody or go with somebody that I went with. My mom never taught me that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she taught me that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh wow, like I never even.
Yeah. No one ever. Same here. No one actually talked to me about that either. No.
That's why we gotta have these conversations with these motherfuckers. Yeah. Ask people to tell them things like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, because just like with my son's father, with that dude that he like, come on, that was his man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was like, "Oh, okay, you gonna fuck with her?" And I told you, like, you know, men with their ego, and then if you're not able to have like real adult conversation or just conversation period to be able to express your innermost vulnerable thoughts, like, man, like, yo, although I'm not with her, I wish that you would. And you're like, nah.
Yeah. Because
I'm gonna fuck I'm gonna fuck your baby mom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of I hear a lot of these entertainers talk about that type of shit. Yeah. You know, they might I remember like when I was in high school, this is a good example. Mm-hmm. There's a girl that I wanted to talk to, right? You know, I went to her house, I met her mom, and you know, but we never really got to hang out with just me and her. It was always other people around all the time.
Okay.
So there's a guy that, you know, he's my man. You know, we used to hang together all the time, and he knew I was trying to get with that girl.
Right.
He went behind my back and smashed.
Oh wow! Yeah,
so that was my first experience with somebody where there was no boundaries set. You know, he just did it and didn't let me know until he didn't even tell me about it. Somebody else did. He said, "Hey, you know, your boy went over there and picked her up, bro. You know, and took her down to the park or some shit like that." I'm like, what? So now so once I heard that, I left her alone. You know, that's why I say everybody. It depends on your morals and your values when it comes to that type of shit. You know, because some people see it as like, hey, you know, like, y'all ain't married, so oh well, you know.
You two were you were like teenagers or some shit, like in the 20s or something.
I was 17.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So some people, but that was my first experience like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I understand.
I just assume
that communication.
I just assume that
he wouldn't do no shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he knew how you felt about her.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just depends, man. This depends. And I learned from that situation, don't tell other people around you too much information about how you feel about somebody. Because a lot of times they'll use it against you. They'll flip it and they'll act like, I'm trying to help you out or whatever. But in reality, they trying to manipulate the situation and use it for themselves. I learned that.
That's fucked up.
It happens all the time, man.
Listen, that's so funny that you said that because this is some TV shit, but what's his name? Shaq has said that. He was like, you don't share vulnerable information with a female because she'll use it against you. And I'm like, well, who the fuck are you fucking with?
I heard when he said that. Yeah. Well, that's a little different.
It's the same. How?
Well, I think he was talking about like could be a person, could be a wife or somebody you live with. That
female,
yeah, that I was like the same. I said the same thing you said. I'm like, who the hell he fucking with? I mean, you can't talk to the person you live with. I don't know who the fuck you gonna talk to.
Yeah, but then again, when the verse went to, god damn, this fucking communication. People, for real, like you can't be like holding shit in when you know something is on your mind, regardless if you know how to so-called effectively articulate your thought. You still need to get your thought out. Maybe, and also there's so many forms of way you can communicate with somebody. I suggest to people, like, if you want to write a note to your person, tell them how you feel, then do that. If you want to text them and tell you how, most people don't want to read no text, but whatever. But you have to be able to do that. You just can be sitting with this thing on how you're feeling and thinking that somebody know what